Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-show. I get the joke about the Shorty Awards. Okay, it's going to be a quick pre-show, but don't worry, in that time, we can still fit in a good amount of stuff, and I'm very glad to have you for Big News Wednesday. J.R. Jackson will be coming up in just a little bit. First, of course, he'll be hosting the watch list, and then he'll be hosting my show as well with me. And later on today, apparently there was some miscommunication yesterday. Today, I'm going to be leading the first hour of the Young Turks with Jessica Burbank, and then she will be leading the second hour, and I'll be joining her. So it's a full John and Jessica Wednesday. So everyone, buckle up for that. Let's jump right into the news. Hit the like button if you haven't already, so the people know we're live. It's been a few days since we've done this, so let's give an update on the current COVID case count. Cases continue to go up. They're not dramatically higher than they were, a month or two ago. We're at about 125,000 cases. That is, look, let's keep it real with each other. It should be unacceptable. Obviously, we could have done much better. We should have done much better. But it's not up in the 800,000, so that's good news. Hospitalizations are up. People in ICU are up, and the deaths are up too. The deaths are about averaging 100 more than they were a few months ago. It's not making a dramatic change in the chart. We're not up to 1,000, 1,500, and maybe we won't. Now, of course, all of this is an undercount. They've been an undercount since the very beginning. The idea that now, of all times, they'd be accurate is ridiculous. But anyway, that's what we have in terms of the numbers. In terms of what we have for the future of humanity, not a lot of good news. Like there's this massive heat wave that's rolling across Europe and basically the entire world. There should be an intro song for the pre-show. That's a good idea. I'm going to work on that. Brian Kilmeade, don't panic. It is summer. If it was December and this was happening, then I would say this is a little weird. So hold on. So, don't panic, and he's not even saying it's a little weird, because he would only say that if it was December. So, record high temperatures being set in multiple parts of the globe, over 1,100 people dying in just a couple of countries. That's not reason to panic. That's not even a little bit weird, according to Brian Kilmeade, who we occasionally give credit to for saying reasonable things. That is insane. Also, I'm not going to actually play this video for you, but Tucker Carlson did a whole monologue on the Great Replacement conspiracy theory, which he says is not a conspiracy theory, it's their electoral strategy. Because when they hint at Great Replacement, that is bad. When they simply do full monologues over and over and over again to millions of people asserting that it's true, arguably that's worse. Now, again, I'm not going to play this for you. I just want to scroll so you know how long he goes on about this. Just minute after minute after minute after minute about how all of you good pasty-faced people are being replaced by Guatemalan terrorists or something. Now, we don't watch his show, but you should just understand. That's why I want to occasionally remind you, this is just what he does. It's just another day on his show, and we're moving on with our life, but they're being trained to believe that Great Replacement is the thing that's happening. Anyway, I want to jump into our final story for now. Maybe we'll have time for other stuff afterward, but AOC is lashing out at Joe Manchin. Understandably so. He's decided to destroy our climate plan right on the precipice of this massive heat wave. A reminder that we are way overdue for actually dealing with this. She says Manchin has paused all action for the United States Act on Climate for the last 4 years. So I don't think he has any authority to speak on climate for the rest of our term here. And that's totally true. I mean, look, she's attacking him. Bernie is. That's good. It needs to be sustained. And it can't just be them. It is way too easy. And they have to. And they can't force anyone else to do this. Like, I'm acknowledging that. But if it's just them, it's too easy for the mainstream media to just write it off. To pretend, it's these radicals. They're always talking about the Green New Deal or whatever. Oh, of course, they're attacking Joe Manchin. It needs to be the default position throughout the Democratic Party. Candidates need to be campaigning based on replacing people like him. Joe Biden needs to be doing something, but Joe Biden ain't doing shit. He's not even going to declare an emergency on the climate. Like Trump would conjure up an imaginary caravan, and then there'd be an emergency at the border. He's not declaring a climate emergency right now, despite like at least the three-pronged attack of the massive worldwide meltdown that's going on, quite literally, Joe Manchin stopping them from doing anything legislatively, and the Supreme Court attacking the EPA's ability to regulate carbon. He's not doing it. He's going to hold off. Let's see what Congress does. The Congress needs to act. That was Manchin, by the way. It sounds like Joe Biden, because they have the same fucking position on this. They're not doing anything. And more days will pass, and more weeks will pass, more months will pass, and more years will pass. And the activists and a few good politicians will be trying to do everything they can to do something about this. But for right now, our ability to do, like, we have to hope that the rest of the world does something, I guess, since our country isn't going to act right. We have to hope that, you know, maybe the state that you're living in might take this seriously. California has done some good stuff. They could go farther. The rest of the country could catch up. And that's what we've got right now. And so the heat wave that kills 1,100 people this year, where do we think that's going to be in 5 years? The great heat wave of the summer of 2027, how many people do you think are going to die in Europe, in Africa, in Asia, in Texas during that? Yeah, I look, obviously, I hope that the AOC runs. She's not the only person that I think could do it or who would be good, but I would like to see that. I'd like to see Nina Turner. I'd like to see Katie Porter. I'd like to see a lot of people. The idea that it could fucking be Joe Manchin, not only because Joe Manchin's not going to do shit, but you know he is not going to be an advocate to fight against people like this. Where is Joe Biden calling out the man who, for his own personal financial gain, has doomed our future and has completely doomed whatever platform Biden actually wanted to get done, assuming that anything exists, it's being killed by Joe Manchin, and he can't work up even a little bit of frustration to respond to that with. Now, for right now, that's going to be it for our show. Thank you for joining me for this brief pre-show, but don't worry, this is just a nice little lead-in to the watch list, twitch.tv/TYT, youtube.com/watchlistTYT, and then I'm going to be going live with JR afterward for Big News Wednesday. I hope to see you there.